we're live. Hey guys, welcome to Nearing Nerdvana. My name is Lucy, if you haven't been here before. And tonight we have Witching Hour, which is our little special for the month of October. And I have some friends with me. We have Jojo. Wait, Jojo.
Hey guys, what's up?
Ruben.
Here.
Yay.
How you guys doing? I'm Ruben.
And the lovely Sarah.
Yay! Everybody, happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go, wearing our shirts. Yay. I actually made this today. Like, I made it today.
Nice.
I was like
That's
in a rush
awesome.
to make it. Yeah. And then I got my little friend here with me.
Ah,
cool.
nice.
But
That's really cool.
He's always here on my desk, like he's up here, but tonight I moved him. And then you can see a bunch of tape that I used today. I'm saving it for next time. But yeah, happy Friday the 13th. My son was like, my son Lennox, he's 13. He was like, that would be so cool. He's like, it's October, Friday the 13th. He's like, I wish we had full moon. I'm like, maybe, I don't know, you should check. I'm like, I don't know the phases of the moon. So check. And he's like, oh, there isn't. But still, the eclipse tomorrow. I think there's an eclipse.
Wow.
Tomorrow's happening, I believe.
Cool.
That's what he said. Which
Crazy.
what I read that it was going to be pretty visible in Alaska, but not so much here. Hello, Ang. Thanks for being here. The Collector Beat. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure we will be able to see it. The last time I seen one, I remember, and it was 1991. I remember my brother was just born. I was like 4 years old. I was 4 years old, and I still remember. I remember perfectly because I feel either I got traumatized because I didn't really understand what was happening, and I was like, "Don't look at the sun." Like, my mom, I'm all like trying to look like, but some of you were not even born yet when that happened. But hey, Steve is
Hello,
Steve.
Hey.
Yes, you made it, Steve. We just started, so you just in time. So I was just saying that, today's Friday the 13th, and my son was he wants to watch that movie Friday the 13th. Okay. And I was watching it the other day, and the first scene, the beginning is like they're singing, and then they kind of get into like
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to let him watch it. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know after the show. Let me know. He's 13.
Oh, he's
13. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, let me know after the show if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the chat. Should I?
You could do what my parents always did and just like cover his eyes for certain scenes.
Yeah, cover your eyes.
Yeah,
eyes and ears.
Right? Yes. I'm like, oh, just fast forward fast. I don't know. I don't know if I should let him watch it. But yeah. So let's start with the show. So the show is about one of each will tell paranormal story encounter. So we'll go. It might not be, because right now, like for me, I don't have that many experiences. I have few of them, but I don't have that many. But the people around me, yes, especially my mom and the people around me, yes. So it will be either one personal or somebody that like people in the chat. If you have any experience or anything like that, let us know, and I will read it for everybody. But let's get started. Who wants to start first? Wants to go?
I'll go.
You go? Okay. Oh, Jojo has the best ones.
I know. I'm going to get ready for this.
All right. This one isn't as well. In some ways, it's crazier than the others. In some ways, it's not. It's not like anything really happened, but I did see things that were interesting. So this was at my So, last week, you guys, I told them about my experiences in college. So now we're going
Mhm.
back to that house that
Oh my
I was
goodness.
telling you guys 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, buddy. Let's get into it.
Yeah, that house, like, I felt like it had different, maybe entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, because there were the kids that I would hear laughing occasionally, and like I always just sensed like they were younger kids, like running around and stuff. That was wild. But this was a different
Nice
thing.
Canada.
This always came around kind of near my like living room, between my living room and kitchen. I started noticing this like shadowy figure, and it wasn't like,
I'm
some
getting
people are
chills
like,
already. I feel like
yeah,
chills from my head all the way. I
and
don't
it
even know the
happened
story.
multiple times. That's the thing though, there is no real story. It's just like I would see it / sense it sometimes,
Mhm.
and it was always in the same area. And I've got pretty bad vibes from it. Like I was telling you guys before, I'm very like sensitive to energies and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was annoying to me, because it was like, like what the heck? Like I don't want to be seeing this right now. It was more like an annoyance to me than
Yeah.
I wasn't really scared of it. It was just like, okay, that's kind of falls in line with other stuff I've been seeing in this place. Like this place is for sure haunted. It was just
Yeah.
another thing to add to the freaking list there. But one day I remember I kind of like disregarded it, because giving these things attention is like the worst thing you could do. So I let it go, and I was just like, whatever. But that's didn't make it go away at all either. So one day I was talking to my sister, and I don't remember how it came to be, like what we were talking about exactly, but she was telling me that sometimes she sees this shadowy figure. Like, and I'm like, wait a minute, where do you see this? And then she's like, right here, like by the kitchen. And then like there was a time I saw it in the living room. I'm like, oh God, are you serious? And that was, we hadn't told each other until that point. And I was like, I've
Oh my gosh.
seen that too. And I don't know what it is. I get pretty bad vibes from it. So I always try to like either leave or just, go upstairs or something. Just, I don't try to mess with that. So she was like, yeah, it gives me bad vibes too. I don't know. We were kind of speculating that potentially, like I was telling you guys before, there was a canal that ran behind my house, and like maybe it was some kind of drowning or something. But both of us really sensed that it was an older man that with like a cowboy hat on. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's pretty specific. So maybe
Yeah.
it's like even before, like I get, because which one? This house, is it the one out here?
It was the one in Imperial, in near El Centro.
Yeah. So I just feel like that's old.
It's
land,
crazy.
old,
That place. It reminds me of like The Conjuring, but this is before The Conjuring. Like this is, well, where there's like multiple things there, and it's wild because I touched a little on this before too, where it's like that place was so like active in terms of the paranormal, but when I go to other places, like I don't feel any of that. Like I don't feel any of that here. So that's why, because like there are times when I'm just like, were we just like imagining things? Like, what is it? Because you have to question yourself too sometimes, and like I don't know. I just wonder why it was always there and not. And we were older too. Like we were in high school, like older, 16, 17, 18. It's not like we were these young kids that just, were imagining things, had imaginary friends or something, you know what I mean? So, and the fact that both of us were experiencing similar things was nuts.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna read this comment, and then I will say like what you just said that about the mind. Comics Embrace said, I was a child in a very haunted house. It was my grandparents' house, and the piano will play by itself.
Whew.
Dinner during dinner times, will make sounds. I have way too much stories to tell. Hauntings are real. You're gonna have to come
Yeah.
on. Maybe if you want to join us next Friday, dude,
Damn.
let us know.
I mean, at least play a
that's what you-
ditty, right? If he's playing the piano, you're all "Play Hello" by Lionel Richie.
Oh my god, right?
Dude, a lot of the times, yeah, like you were saying, Jojo, you have to question things. Like I always have to like trying to find justification of what's happening, find those things, and if none of those things really happen, like then it's like, oh, that's really something, because your mind definitely can play tricks on you, like when a pile of clothes can turn into a freaking thing. Early I sent you guys a picture of the sky, and it looks like a freaking pumpkin with like the eyes, and like a creepy one. It's like you're sometimes it is funny that happened today, but like sometimes you see things and maybe it's not there. I don't know, like it will be
It's just weird,
crazy. It will be every few seconds. Hey, if you want, however you want, if you want to come join us or just send us, in here, we'll read them. It's cool. Send me messages and I can read them here. However, it's awesome. But yeah, like
I got a question for Jojo. Have you guys done any research on the house? Like, have you ever
no,
like anything?
no, we haven't, and we really should. That house was newer, I would say, though. It was like, well, it's probably old now, but at the time it was what I don't know, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. But we were near fields and there's canals and it's a very agricultural town, rural.
Yeah.
So if you told me like this fool drowned in the canal, I would not be surprised. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
His wandering soul in the canal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm telling you, like I just feel like all this, like is that still part of the Coachella Valley? No, right?
No, it's Imperial Valley.
No,
but it's very, very
you're
similar.
Imperial. Yeah, we're
very
like
similar.
right. I mean, it's like an hour. I think an hour and away.
It's
an
like
hour,
an hour and a half or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour away from where I'm at, and like hi Sheena, and yeah, comment, send me. I love reading this. That's why I'm doing this, because I love hearing the stories. Like I said, I don't have many personal encounters, but it's been around me. Like my mom. They follow my mom. And I like hearing about all these like scary movies, and I like hearing all these encounters, the paranormal and stuff like that. So send me your messages, or comments. But yeah, Jojo, do you know if the house still there?
It's still there. Yeah. They've since painted it, so that's kind of weird, but
I wonder
it's still there. I would love to ask. Yeah, I would love to ask them. Be like, knock, knock, knock.
Right?
Okay. That just it just remind me you. I don't know if I said it I know I have said it in the past, but on other shows, but I don't know I have said it here yet. But I will wait. Kind of my turn. I was just telling you, I couldn't remember, but now like you telling the stories and all this, like kind of.
I told you, it just jogs your memory sometimes when other people start talking. Yeah.
But yeah, it's who wants to go next on they want to tell their little spooky story. Who wants to go next? Ruben, you want to go?
I guess I'll go. And then following JoJo's story, how she had mentioned that it was a shadow, like with a hat. My dad would always tell me stories of growing up in Mexico that if you see a shadow or a silhouette of a man with a tall hat, you run because it's bad news. So right as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, I have an idea. I've heard several stories like this before.
Yeah. And there's there's some details I'm not even gonna mention on here, but like, yeah, it came along with other negative things. That's why I got negative things from it. But
I want to hear them. We can tell us later. I want to know.
Yeah, maybe later I'll tell you. But it was, yeah,
She's like not on air. Maybe
it was a very
backstage or something.
turbulent part time in my household. Let's just put it that way.
Oh,
And
okay,
like, I think
I think that could have been.
it might have a little to do with it, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of them were outside factors, but still like exacerbated.
Apollo, I've never been, but I know about it.
No.
What?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
show little segments on those things on that area.
Yeah, I see it. Is it in Guadalajara? I can't remember where it's at. I don't know if it's Mexico City or Guadalajara.
There was one, isn't it like Louisiana too? There's like another kind of like doll.
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah, like some type of voodoo doll.
Yeah.
You never want to go there.
Right. It's like in the middle of the swamp, and there's like doll heads and like baby dolls and like
In Mexico City, Lucy.
Oh, it is Tequila, located in the Xochimilco, South Central Mexico. Okay. Oh, that's where. Isn't it? That's where they have all those canoes and all those like they have like really decorated, pretty. I think
It's
that's
really
where,
nice. I've been there.
Yeah, I never been. I never been to Mexico City, so just Guadalajara, where I'm from. Okay, sorry, Berman. Go ahead. Tell us your story.
No, but all the stories pretty much, well, the house that I'm in right now, because I'm in La Habra, California, the house I'm in right now, we've spoken about it where I've been getting ready for work, and then out of nowhere, just something flies across the room, and I'm like, I work graveyard, so I work at 1, 2 in the morning. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. I'm just gonna leave and let my kids deal with it. I gotta go to work. But
that'll learn you.
As far as in this house, it's just you hear some things, nothing too crazy. The house I grew up in, East LA, that house, there was a lot of stuff. You see shadow entities. I've had sleep paralysis there, and I've seen just shadows go in and out of the room, doors open and close by themselves. You know, you think you're in East LA, you think it's the neighbors yelling or fighting or something's going on, a car coming too fast at night, the high beams. But no, there's a lot of things in there that make you wonder, did I just really watch this? Did this just happen in front of me? But East LA has been more where I get more paranormal activity. Griffith Park, gone to a few parks that have just given you eerie vibes. You just hear everything rustling around you when you know there's nothing there, or footsteps behind you, and you're like, there's no one near me for any good amount of space.
Okay, so you send us a video right from there when you were saying, oh, something like that happened. Tell us for the people that they don't.
Yeah, it was I stumbled, you go down the rabbit hole when you're bored through Instagram, and I saw somebody post that they were walking their dog in Griffith Park, and then you hear just a lot of noise, but they can't pinpoint where it's coming from, and you can hear somebody yelling, but then they start like speaking, I guess, in tongues. And it reminded me of a similar situation when we were younger. A lot of us, we would take the bus all the way to Griffith Park and we'd hike for a while. We came across this road that we knew nobody's been there for a long time. We're like, okay, let's hike it. And out of nowhere, you just hear rustling all around us. And we're like, okay, what is that? You start hearing like little faint breathing like around us. And we're like, okay, it's just us near each other. We're not, breathing heavily. What is that? Then we stopped for a second. We heard the bushes rustle. We booked it. We just ran. We just took off, and there was like a little cliff. We didn't care. We just ran and jumped off. Everybody pushed each other off. We were at least 18, 20 years old, but we didn't care. We just didn't even want to look back. It's just, you got that eerie vibe, and when you feel it and you don't know what's around you, you're just gonna run.
Yeah, fight or flight.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah.
So you didn't have a Scooby-Doo situation where you're exploring with that noise?
No, I wish we found somebody under the mask, but no, we just kept going.
He had the other effect with the running.
Right?
There was no chase music on this side. No chase music.
So, Ruben, right now, what's the latest experience that you had in your house? Because I know you have told me like many stuff, about your house, but what's the latest thing that has happened?
Since we like to go and we like to shop around for antiques, so we do estate sales and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff we bring home, obviously, has been around for decades. So we feel that at times we bring back stuff that has attachments. So if we bring like like my son loves baseball, so we'll bring like all the older like baseball bats or the mittens and stuff, the gloves, and we feel that maybe something's attached to it because sometimes toys go off by themselves, and we're like, oh, probably about a kid spirit, and they're just playing with all the toys now. It's like, hey, that has no batteries. How's it making noise? You know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. But it's just pretty much with us, it's just kid toys. I'm pretty sure it's happened to a few of you guys if you have kids that the toys will start making noise and there's no batteries and there's no way it could work. And it's like, okay, this defies the laws of physics, but you know what? Let's roll with it.
Yeah, my friend, she gave me a toy, and it's like one of those like to help the kids like how to walk, like kind of it's a pushy one.
A walker, yeah.
And, yeah, kind of no, it's not really a walker. It's like just kind of like a, oh my gosh, like what the old people use like to push, like they hang on to, kind of. What do they call? Well, I guess a walker. Yes, right, Steve. And but they just hang on to it and push it, and once you push it, it goes off. But like sometimes like it will just turn on, like if you walk past it, like it will turn on out of nowhere, and we're like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? So definitely. I know about those toys.
Can you take out the batteries and it's still working?
You gotta smash it on the floor by that time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if we turn the thing, like the little switch in the back off, it stays off. But like if sometimes like if I'm far away from it, and like I'll think, oh, maybe if you walk by, it will turn on, like maybe because it sensed that I was there or something, like it turned on. But like I'm far away from it, and it just it has turned on before. But I try not to think about it. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just the apartment shook a little bit or something. I don't know. I think it's a little earthquake and it made it move.
Oh my god.
But yeah. So Sarah, do you have a little story?
I don't, but I love this stuff, so I want to hear more. So tell me more.
Okay, do you know anybody that you have heard, like they had experienced anything?
Just Wisconsin is pretty haunted. I mean, we've got some crazy stuff. That's crazy states. Winter is crazy. I know of there's a building in a very small town. The town is super creepy, and there's a school there. The school is closed, but there have been rumors of murders and other things, and I have heard that people who've gone there, they hear kids laughing. They've seen lights turn off and on. So I've not visited because I don't want to visit. But I mean, there were just multitudes of stories of friends who've gone there who they've experienced many things. And it was actually like it was featured on a TV show. I think it was called like ABC had a TV show about like the scariest places in the world. One of them was this school.
I wonder if Ghost Adventures, they've been there. What's the name of it?
JFK Prep out in St. Nazianz.
Oh,
see, even the town sounds creepy, right? The name, like St. Nazianz. So yeah. So that's the only thing I've heard of personally. I've never really encountered, but I wanted to come here and hear all the.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I'm kind of the same. Like I just know I have people around me and like little things that I kind of been there, but it's like I question it. I don't know. I'm like, maybe it wasn't me. I don't know. Steve, do you want to go? I know you have some stories.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you one. I know Lucy's heard this one, but
Would you tell us?
Yeah. So I have a cousin in Vegas that lives in the hood, and he's like off like right in northern Las Vegas, and his house that he's lived in for years has been haunted. It's not haunted anymore.
He's still there? Oh.
No. It's not there anymore. They had the house cleansed, and I went back, and I was like, all right, I don't feel anything
Oh,
too
really?
crazy in there. It used to be like where my aunt's room was, like her
Mhm.
bathroom. She's gotten like sleep paralysis. It's like stopped her in front of like the bathroom door where she couldn't like move forward. Um,
Mm-mm.
so there's been a lot of like sightings. I prior to what happened to me, like I used to always think someone was home, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you guys leave or something like that." Because when I go on vacation, they still work.
Mhm.
They're just like, "We
Yeah.
got you after work, and then on the
Yeah.
weekend."
Yeah, that's how my family is.
But they'll
Yeah,
come
out there.
home like early sometimes. So there's been times where I was there by myself, and I would hear doors slam, and then I would be like, "Oh, did you guys come back like early?" They're like, "No, we were still at work." But the time that I went to stay over there, because I stay like every year, I went and stayed there, and I walked as soon as I walked in the house, I like felt it immediately. Like I felt
Mhm.
unsettling. I felt like anxiety right away.
Mm.
And my cousin was walking me through the place, and he's like, "Oh, there's my mom's room." He's like, "Here's my brother's room, and then mine's in the back." And then my cousin, he's a DJ, so he's never at home. He always is out doing something or on tour with like
Mhm.
doing sound like setting sound and everything. So at this time he was out. He was gone. My other cousin, who the younger brother, is married in his different place, and it's just the middle brother and his mom. And they
Mhm.
don't tell me anything about it, but I'm like getting this like anxiety as I'm walking through this place. They just kind of like keep things to themselves. I mean, probably because they're so used to it. They've lived there
Mhm.
forever, so it's like to them,
They
it's
don't
like
even think about it,
out of
like,
sight, out of mind,
yeah.
or like they just, you just kind of grow accustomed to living with it. I wouldn't. I mean, especially if it's like sleep paralysis or it's having you a headache,
Yeah.
like keeping you away from something.
Mhm.
So one night I end up staying there. I usually stay again for weeks, but the first time I go, I end up staying there, and it's like late at night, and I'm on my cousin's computer, and my cousin, he tells me, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna head to bed because I got to go to work tomorrow." I'm like, "All right, cool." He's like, and my mom's in her room, so she'll probably like sleep a little later, and it's dark. They have the lights off, everything's off, and it's pitch black there. And so I'm on the computer and I'm like reading like some mangas and stuff like that. And I look at the reflection because the computer is like facing the wall and the doorway is out there. So I'm looking at the doorway and I see something like walk by. And I'm like, "Oh, Jason, like you're going to the bathroom?" And nothing. I don't hear anything. And I'm just like, okay, he just probably went back in. And I'm like rereading the manga, and it's getting good, and then all of a sudden I see like the reflection again, something walk by. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I guess he went back inside or whatever. He stayed to the front. So I decided to go to bed, and I'm like shutting everything down. And as I'm laying there, his bed was like right here. Here's the doorway. His bed was where he would sleep would be head to the doorway. But something told me like, hey, sleep on the other end by the window so that you could see the doorway. So I get up, I move everything, and I start laying down. It's like maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like woken up out of my sleep. And like I look at the hallway, and I see what's like leering at a doorway, like with its arm, like this is just pitch black, just like staring. And I'm like,
No.
I ask for my aunt. I'm like, "Thea?" And I'm like, "Jason?" And nothing. And I just like turn to the wall and I pull the blanket over my
Oh
head. And I'm like,
no.
"Oh God, please." I was like,
Oh,
"Please,
oh no.
please let me go to sleep. I don't want to see this thing." And I like look back and it's like still there. And I just turn again and I'm just like eyes closed. I fall
Good,
asleep,
good.
right? And I get they're
How can
up
you
in the
fall
morning.
asleep? No, you.
It's because
I
it
have
didn't get
to.
closer the second time you looked.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
If it didn't
Oh.
get closer, I probably would have been like,
Uh,
the bed needs to be changed, guys. I'm asking. So like the morning comes in, like it's already like what 5 o'clock in the morning, and I hear his door come out. I probably was probably like only a couple hours of sleep that I got. So I like go over there and I look at and I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, did you get up like at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning to go to use the bathroom?" He's like, "No, I was asleep." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Was your mom up?" And he's like, "She's already at work. She left earlier this morning, way earlier. And I'm like, okay, so you didn't go to the bathroom. And he's like, no. And I'm like, dude, I was like, let me tell you what happened. And I tell him, I just saw a black like entity staring at the hallway, looking at me, and I was in your brother's bed. I was like, I thought it was you or your mom. And I was like, and now that it's not, I was like, I'm out of here, dude. So I start getting like my stuff, and he's like, oh, so like he like just casually, nonchalantly tells me, hey, so like yeah, we do have a ghost here. And he starts telling me all the incidences, and then I'm like asking him like, was this like prior to when you moved in, or what? Like I'm trying to get all the details and stuff like that. Meanwhile, like keeping my composure, not losing my shit.
Oh my god.
And he just tells me, he's like, okay, so like we had, there was a fire on the other end, and this person lived in a house, and they ended up dying there.
Oh
And
my
he's
god.
like, so one night it was like raining, and just like stupid kids, they're like, let's go to the house. And my cousin, the oldest, along with the middle one and the younger one, they hop the fence, they go in, and they go through like the house, and they start rummaging. They go in the garage, and they see these like records, and my cousins are DJs. So to them, they're just like, oh shit, records.
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they bring them back, and I guess whatever was living at that house and whatever they took
Mm-hmm.
wanted
was
its
them.
records, because he was leering it at the room, and in that room that I was in was all their DJ stuff.
Oh shit.
So
So the
So
records are still in there, is what you're
yeah,
telling us.
so the records
Yeah.
are still in there, and I'm like asking,
Like, give
I'm
it
like,
back, give it
Yeah.
back.
I'm like, yeah, that's what. So I tell him, I'm like, you guys are freaking nuts. I'm like, dude, you brought something back. I was like, where are the records? And he's like, oh, they're with my cousin Hugo, the one that's on tour. I'm like, dude, I start picking my stuff up, and he's like sitting there like trying to like calm me down, and I'm putting all my stuff, and he's like, where are you going? And I was like, to your other brother's house. I'm never coming back. Never. I was like, that thing scared the holy shit out of me. I'm like, I swear to God, it was pitch black, and yeah, probably like a Thriller record or whatever the hell it was. But yeah, but I told my cousin, I was like, hey, dude, you need to get rid of those records. I was like, or you need to like
Take 'em
sage the
back.
house, sage the house, bless it, whatever the case may be. So eventually, they gave the records to Goodwill, and they just like left them. Then they saged the house.
They should have taken back where they found them.
The house was already put back up, and there was like
gotcha.
by that time they probably would have already put it up, and some there were neighbors. Here's some records that used to be here. Can you imagine just giving the gift that keeps on giving?
Hey, welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah. There's a lot of history. Good night. So,
yes, dude. So like the person who used to live here, he wants his records back. Okay.
Yeah, Ned, he wants his records back. So I end up leaving, and like years down the line, I still go, but I don't stay the night. I just go in, I say hi, and I used to always just feel it there. And then the last time that that all that happened, they got rid of the records, they saged the house, say somebody bless the house. I went back in, and I'm like walking through the house. I'm like, yeah, nothing's in here anymore. I just get this like odd feeling, and like where I go, and I think it's because of my cousin's experiences and what she's done. It like every house that she lives at, just things follow her. I mean, there's too many stories like that I've been in with like we're staying the night at like different homes of hers, and like funny shit just happens. But yeah, so needless to say, I go stay with his brother, and it's been like that every year. Like I never look back. I don't go back to the house. I don't care if it's like I feels okay. I just usually stay with his younger brother, like away from like all that. But oh yeah, it was that was a time. It was crazy. It was scary.
Dude, I forgot about that story, dude. I forgot. I know we talked about this and I completely forgot.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Good God. God almighty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Whatever. I mean, she could stay in San Jose. Yeah. My cousin's been dying for me to go over there. Yeah, she's been dying for me to go over there, and I always talk to her on the phone. I'm like, This is another cousin, and I always tell her,
Oh,
like,
the one you told last time, the story about her.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I always
Yes.
ask her, I'm like, how's the home?
Yeah.
Before I
How's your
leave, 'cause-
guest over there? How's your guest?
yeah, because before, like, she never used to warn me, and then I just used to always be in these like horrible predicaments of being scared shitless. But yeah.
Oh man, good stories, Steve.
Yeah,
Thank
kinda
you.
chills. Yeah, no problem.
Damn.
Dang. Aaron, do you have one for us tonight?
So, okay, yeah. So when I was in college, I used to read a lot of urban legend stuff, like on because I used to work at a computer lab, and so I used to knock out my homework, and then once you do that, you're just like surfing the internet for the rest of your shift because there's like 9 times out of 10 people aren't going up to you to ask you to help with how to use a computer. They just need that source, right? And then if people do ask you for help, it's usually to like actually do their homework and not actually yeah. So yeah. So a lot of times, like after you finish yours, like it's just a lot of surfing the internet. Well, I was reading this urban legend website, and it actually happened to fall at an event I went to. So I was in Boy Scouts, and in 2001, they're like at the National Jamboree, this person got struck by lightning, and like at the event. So I was actually at that event, and it was not only one person that got struck by lightning; it was 2 people.
Oh shit! Didn't you were reading about that?
Yeah, I was reading about that event, like on an urban legend website.
That's
that like hey, like someone.
Well, you happen to be there.
So I was, yeah, so I was actually
That's wild.
So I was actually at the 2001 National Jamboree, and not only was it one person, it was actually 2 people, and so it's like in Virginia, like one of the army bases, and so that week the week the event actually happened, it was like pouring rain the entire time. And so like I guess with all the metal poles and everything and everyone camping, like lightning started striking the ground and stuff like that. And like this kid actually got struck by lightning at the event. And then so I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy that it's on this urban legend website. They're like, we're not sure if this
did the
actually
kid die or did
I heard he had lived, but I mean he was obviously like immediately like hospitalized.
Yeah.
And then I remember it actually happening, and then they used to publish a newspaper that you would read like every morning of like, hey, this is events that happened, blah blah blah. And then it's like, by the way, this person got struck by lightning. They're like currently okay.
I hope he got a badge.
Yeah, right. Like he definitely earned a badge.
Yeah, just a merit badge, you know. Yeah.
You're done with Boy Scouts after that. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, so like to actually like see it on the Urban Legends website, like, hey, this may or may not have happened, and it's like kind of like it did happen. Not only did it happen once, it happened to another kid too as well.
And that's so crazy.
Yes. So that was like one of the events I remember actually like where something like that happened. I was just like kind of like, oh, that's crazy.
That's so crazy.
But I mean, like, if you're gonna get struck by lightning anywhere, like to be like with a tons of Boy Scouts, they'll know what to do. And like, so I feel like that's like one of the safer places for that to happen instead of like you know, you're just with your like troop or whatever, like, and then you're happen to be hiking and there's only like 10 people with you, right?
Yes. Well, see, that is crazy that you reading it on urban legends. That is so crazy.
Yeah. And that was actually at that event, and it was like kind of like so I thought it was kind of funny like that.
Yeah.
What would you do if you were like a hand, like a charred hand would have like while you were reading this, like grabbed you?
Oh my God, shut up!
I'd be like, please. So, I would freaking think.
Well, you know, go ahead.
I mean, so like, because like there's tons of events to do like throughout that entire time, but like because of all the rain, like 9 times out of 10, you're sitting around like a campsite with like under a tarp, like playing cards because
Yeah.
because it's just raining. Like you can't go out and
Yeah.
like shotgun shooting or like
Yeah.
like do all
Yeah.
kinds of, like they had like literally like every event that you could think of or that there's a merit badge for, and
Yeah.
it's there because
Yeah.
you're gathering all these like scouts and scout leaders and stuff like that to share
That's
their knowledge and
crazy.
the
Yeah.
expertise stuff.
So I want to read this one real quick. Like he said it earlier from Rudy. He's like, my mom grew up in a pueblito in Jalisco. That's Jalisco, Guadalajara. That's where I'm from. And she said there was a spirit of a woman that will glide along the edge of the river. She will only be at night, and it was the spirit of the lady that had drowned many years prior. So, and then somebody said that La Llorona, has anyone experienced La Llorona, which all those are those little, what do they call, like
folk stories.
folklore, stories and stuff like that. And,
Las leyendas.
yeah. So on my grandpa, again in the small town Jalisco like that, he was the doctor of the town, but he liked to drink on his free times. And I remember especially because since he was the doctor of the town, a lot of the people I remember seeing it, since they didn't, Jalisco, Guadalajara, that's where they make the tequila. That's where the tequila comes from. And a lot of the drinks that out there, there's one that I can't remember the name of it, but they will make it. It was like white. Tempache. I can't remember.
Oh,
the name
yeah.
of it. Kind of which one I'm talking
It's like
about.
milky. It looks milky.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really strong. Smells like I never had it, but I remember
really
smell it. I remember the smell of it, and it smelled like Robin. It just smelled like freaking alcohol. But they will give him drinks all the time, like tequilas. Instead of like they didn't have money to pay, they even pay with food or with tequila. And so he says that one day he was on his way home and he was kind of drunk, and so I remember growing up that they will say the lechuzas, which are like owls, like the owls, they were witches, that they said that growing up. I remember and they still that it's are saying that the owls are witches, and if a lot of the people believe if one owl standing by your house, it's bad luck and blah blah. I love owls. I think they're so beautiful, and I think they're good luck. I see it different. But so anyways, my grandpa said he was on his way home and one of them started chasing him. I'll never forget. Like they started chasing him, and he said they got close to him and started like smacking him around. And then he says that he's like, I know I was drunk. He's like, but it was speaking to me. He's like, it was talking to me and cussing me out. He's like, till he went inside the house, and then it was like the smacking, like the wings slapping the door, like he said he's like, I was drunk. He's like, that just went away. He's like, I got sober real quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those tales, legends and stuff, like the leyendas, like they're pretty common out in Mexico.
Yeah.
I will here too, I guess. Like everybody has their own folklore, right? That's how you pronounce it. But I remember, and there too, I remember the one, the lady by the river. I wonder if it's the same, around the same town or some on Jalisco. What happened?
No, he's just leaving. Comics Embrace is leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. Let's see, what did he say? Let me see. I'm gonna have to watch you. Of course. Well, I hope you have a good day. My whole bathroom is all inspire, respect, and love. See, I love owls. He's like, yep, she's a part of my mom's story. She feared them. So see, like, what town? My grandpa was from San Miguel Cuyutlan. So I wonder what town is she from. But yeah, so there was like also I remember the lady that had driven by the river and stuff like that. Not specifically the oh yeah, I never heard of it. I need to look it up. I wonder how far it's from there. My grandpa, remember, he used to tell me like so many stories like about like small towns. There was the one that every year he will go, each little town they celebrate their saint. Like San Miguel Cuyutlan, their saint is the angel San Miguel, which one is it? So the four it's like San Gabriel, San
Michael.
Is it Michael Miguel? It's Miguel.
Miguel,
Right, Miguel, yeah. So that's that one, and they celebrate this month. Actually, they have a big ass party like almost every weekend night. Like they have, it's really beautiful. I used to love going there. But there's this other town that you will go, and he says that I talked about this one of them last year, but there was another story that there were a lot of people will experience this. That on the way to this, oh my god, let me collect my thought. It's like so much going. I'm like trying to say too much. I say, so
holding onto my chair.
I know. So there was like people that they ask, the saint for a miracle, and in exchange they will do something. They will say they will walk from their home all the way to that church, which it could be miles and miles and miles, right?
Barefooted too, right? And on their knees, right?
Some on their knees,
Yeah.
they will go on their knees, like go without shoes, or like depends, what it is, like it depends how much big of the miracle they ask you for. So there was one that he says that at this highway on the way to the church, people will see this man holding a backpack, and they will ask, "Can you please take this to this church? I'm really tired. I can make it. I have this amendment, or how do you say
amendment?
Una Amanda. They call it Amanda in Spanish. It's an Amanda,
like a mandate, right?
Yeah, like they have to pay basically for their miracle. So this person, they give a backpack to a person, and then the other person who's doing the favor will take it, and they will say, give it to the priest. So they'll get to the church and give it to the priest. And when the priest will open the backpack, it was full of bones. And they're like, oh, but the priest weren't like, it was never offering. Thank you, Rudy. My translator. Yeah, it's the offering. And yes. So then, and the priest will never be surprised, because the priest is like, oh, yeah. And they will take it every time because they already knew. And they will tell the person, well, actually, it was the person that you met. These bones belong to them.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And I remember my grandpa telling me, I was like, oh, my God. And I don't know if he ever saw it or it was something that he also heard. And I remember my mom telling me about this, too. But that it will happen so very not often, but like it will happen once in a while, but the priest already knew what it was. I'm like, all this.
Wow.
So it's not the first time it happened.
No,
David,
yeah. So I'm like, dude, that is crazy. So there's like a bunch of little things like that, but that was the one that like I always remember. And on my channel, I said about the comadres, the two friends that they make one also, like there was an offering, but they never made it, and they turned into rocks. And they said that people that they didn't make it, they were like, oh, let's just turn back, and they turned back around. They never made it. They didn't pay for their ofrenda, for their offering. So they kind of got punished and they got turned into rocks. And I remember my grandpa will say, every time you pass by those two rocks, you could feel the change of the temperature. It'll be really, really cold by the rocks. My mom, I know that she will say too. Like, I'm like, they're so creepy. And I always wanted to go there and never went. So maybe one day I'll make it to that. But yeah, see.
But you gotta wait until you need a big miracle to happen. So
no.
make the miracle seeing that guy so that you can take the bones to the priest.
Dude, that would be so creepy. That was so.
Put it to fruition.
Yeah. So my last one, I know I'm saying too much, but my last one, well, maybe I'll save that one for next week of my house.
How about
But
the
that was like
intimacy?
if you guys, oh, Sarah too, I should have asked you like, those folklore tales, the legends that you have heard, you can also share those. It doesn't have to be spooky stuff too. So if you know any of that, you can share those. So, I ask you guys for something to recommend for watch for people, usually I post my list of what I like to watch every year. This year, I'm so unorganized. I didn't post my list. I haven't even watched stuff from my list. I've been watching a lot of kind of new stuff this year. Obviously my Beetlejuice. I have to watch it, even if it's not close to Halloween. That I'll already watched like 3 times. But I ask you guys to recommend something to watch, and I've been watching some of your recommendations, and hopefully our people watching. If you guys been here from the 2 days, let me know. Let us know if you watched some of the stuff that we have recommended. But hi, Steve White. Hello. So we're gonna start. Oh, this is places that we would like to visit. I forgot. This is places that we would like to visit, and this one's Aaron's pick. It's the National Museum of Funeral History. So what is this about, Aaron? Never heard of this.
So this is a museum that's in Houston. I haven't been to it in a while, but I like to take dates there, just because. Yeah,
shut
just
your mouth.
Yeah, just like because I like to show them how weird I am, like right off the bat. It's like because if it's not gonna work out, it's not gonna work.
No, it makes sense. He's coming off strong. He's letting them know.
Yeah, it's like kind of like
they're gonna fucking run away. They're like, oh hell no, he's trying to kill me.
It's not like it's not like the first date situation or anything like that.
Okay,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like so it's one of those like where it's like kind of like, hey, this is how weird I am, or like, are you okay with this? But it's also really cool because it's a school for the morgue, like to like if you want to go into that profession and stuff like that.
Crazy.
I haven't been there in a while, but it's a really cool museum. Like if you've never been to it, it's located in Houston, so all those people in the Houston area.
That's crazy. I was looking through the pictures. That place must be haunted. It has to be haunted for sure, right? Do you know? Have you asked them?
Oh, have I asked if it's haunted?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been there in a while, but like,
okay, next time you go, ask them so you can tell the stories. Bring us stories.
bring you stories from like, hey, like I know you have all these like hearses and stuff like that. Like, is there any weird stuff that happens at night? And
yes, dude.
Because
look at that.
Killer, dude.
Yeah. So this one girl I used to work with at a pizza place, she actually she was learning how to be a funeral director. Yeah, or to work in a morgue or whatever. And then, and so she went to the school there and stuff like that.
Ooh, no, I can't.
So, but I don't remember if she said if anything like creepy happened in the night. I mean, she had way weirder stories and stuff like that because she was also like a political activist, and like during like the Bush era. I mean, not to get
so
the FBI actually infiltrated her group that she was a part of.
Shit.
And then like the people that she was hanging around, like they it got like super extreme and stuff like that, where some of the people that she was protesting with like ended up in jail for a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because the FBI agent was pushing them to like make like Molotovs and stuff like that to bring to the protest, and then like they made Molotovs at like a protest, and then
that's so crazy.
And they decided not to use it last minute, and then everywhere they were staying got raided by the FBI and stuff like that. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay, I have a question. Yes. So those tombs in the right there in the middle. So how did they get those? Do they dig them out, or what the hell? Why did are they made them new, or what the hell?
So I mean, like, because it's a funeral home also, right?
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think like people like donate stuff to it. Like they have some weird stuff there. Like they have do you know the Pope Mobile
Yeah.
where he's like
I
standing in the
did see that picture. Yes.
yeah? So they have one of those there. Like how do they get that? Like I think a lot
Yeah.
of people like donate stuff to them because
Donate
it's
or
like
they buy or something.
right, exactly, or like
Yeah.
with the funds that they get from people visiting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So Google this National Museum of Funeral History. You can just look it up, and you can see all those pictures. I have a lot of pictures. If you're not nearby, check it out.
oh, and then yeah, they show you different types of like caskets and stuff like that, and like they have like those double sized caskets where like like a brother and sister died or whatever, and they were buried.
It's too creepy. Yeah. Too creepy. That's too creepy for me.
Too creepy. Like I thought this would be
it is, but I don't know when it comes to this. I don't know. I don't like seeing that stuff. I don't.
Just because it's real. That's why.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe because I can see it. I don't know. It's weird. It's different.
It's different stories. I have a brother-in-law who, when he started out, he actually started out as a mortician. And he told me the stories of.
You need to tell us next time, Sarah.
Oh, you don't want to.
Yes, we do.
I didn't want to hear these stories, but I'll tell you if
next time you can tell us. Next week you can tell us.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, those stories. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like my brother, he works at a hospital and he used to work in ER, and then like there's some days like where he's like work was super stressful, like blah blah blah, and then like because of the whole like patient client confidential, he can't really say anything, and he also works at a children's hospital now.
Oh God!
And so like
don't like hearing things about children.
So he does the CT scans for patients, and so like it's crazy to hear how many kids come in there with like gun wounds, like
so sad.
Yeah,
no,
he'll say stuff like that, but like super broad, where it's where
gotcha.
you can't get any information on.
Yeah,
right.
Well, thank you for your pick. That's interesting. Okay, Ruben, this is yours. I want to know.
Well, for me, it's it comes down to mythical creatures, legends, folk tales. Antarctica, we haven't really been out there that much to really explore what's going on. But then I love hearing urban legends. I love hearing stories, and I like going down rabbit holes. And that there's obviously just stuff out there that we still don't know about when it comes to the paranormal or just mythical creatures. Like that, there's stuff that's frozen out there that they're digging up, whether it be new species that we're just barely figuring out what's going on. And that's why I just want to visit out there. I just want to know what's out there. It's just the unknown. I love everything when it comes to the ocean, but
I hate it.
Every time I go in the ocean, I go swimming, and I'm like, oh man, like I don't touch the floor anymore. I'm like, wait, there's sharks here. Let me swim back. So I'm like, nope. So I'm like, Antarctica, I could do that. I love the cold and everything, and it's just hearing stories and stuff like that. I listen to a lot of podcasts of people. Obviously, it's stories like creepypastas and everything, saying, hey, there's these explorers that went and they found this cave, and in this cave was all these frozen dinosaurs and frozen weird like aliens that no one knows about. And it's just a lot of weird stories like that. When you're driving at 1 a.m. trying to go to work and you're trying to stay awake, all these things keep you going, and then you're driving, you see a light up in the sky, you're like, was that an alien? Like, what was that? So no, just Antarctica to me speaks to, like, I just want to go explore and see if a lot of these rumors and all these stories they're real.
That's crazy. That's cool. Like, I know I would not want to go there just because it's freaking cold and I do not like the ocean. So
like the ultimate ghost hunt.
Yes. Like, how would you like, see, when it's a house, like, I mean, you can try to explain a lot of the things, but it's an enclosed and you can be like, oh, it's more like a ghost. But when it's out in the open is so much more that it could be. I feel, because if you widen the open, so it will be. I feel like it will be hard, but at the same time, it's just so much possibilities. I don't know. It's crazy. That's cool. That's a good pick. Okay, so Sarah, this is yours. What is this?
Yeah, so first I was trying to think of a place that I'd like to visit. But this is a place that's actually not that far away, and there is some history with in particular my husband's family with if you don't know who this picture is, this is Ed Gein. The place that I chose was the Plainfield Cemetery in Plainfield, Wisconsin. Like I said, Wisconsin, we kind of have we're pretty notorious for two serial killers, and one of them was Ed Gein. If you don't know who Ed Gein is, he had committed a crime back in the 1940s. He shot a woman, and then they had investigated him because it was kind of interesting, the fact that basically like everyone knew who shot this woman at this gas station. They went to investigate and went to his house. And I'm kind of making this a little like, I'm kind of shortening up this story because this is a very long story and very intricate. But so Ed Gein's house was filled with body parts. Ed had actually grave robbed at this cemetery, and he actually used these body parts to make bowls and furniture and lampshades, and in particular there's a nipple belt. So so he kind of had an attachment to his mom. If you don't know Ed Gein, you'll probably know like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
that's where they got the source material.
Yeah. Wait, and so he wasn't the maitre d' at the canal bar?
No. Okay, sorry. No. It's very interesting. So he's not really, I mean, to me, he's not really a serial killer. He only killed one person, and then he grave robbed. Crazy, yeah. So he was arrested in 1957, and he actually died in the 80s. He was actually, and then he was buried at the Plainfield Cemetery next to his mom and his brother. That's another story. Mom and brother, there's another whole like crazy story.
Oh my God. There it is. Let me see. So tents found his house. Dang.
Yeah. There are pictures. I think there's I think Steve, I think you and I were kind of talking about this. There's a new show that actually has like the tapes, the interview tapes. I own a book that's actually signed by the judge that prosecuted him, and he actually signed it. But this book is actually like the transcribed trial. Yeah. So unfortunately, if you want to visit, you can visit the cemetery. His headstone is not there because it's been vandalized so many times. They actually removed it back in 2000.
That's him? Like,
no, that's not him. That's just that's him in the
that's corner, where they got the material.
Corner.
Oh, that's where they got. Okay.
So a lot of like the material that you've seen in like as Leatherface, because he actually used he actually did a skin suit.
This one right here.
Yes. He actually split. There's pictures of like I don't want to get too graphic, but there's a woman hanging from her ankles, and he kind of like split her like a deer, like cut her open. So, and the crazy part too is, besides all this crazy stuff that I just gave you, he's buried in the same cemetery that he grave robbed. So a lot of his victims that he took those parts are in, like, there was I believe there's a woman that he took he grave robbed, and she's like pretty much like kitty corner from where he's buried. Him and his family are buried.
Well, she's on him.
Right. Right.
I can you can see why now a lot of people vandalize is
Yeah. So what I read is the cemetery is haunted, which I mean, like, hello. Why wouldn't it be? So yeah, I mean, I didn't know that it was haunted. And then I just found out with the that program about his interview, that he's across from all these victims. So I'm a true crime lover. I love true crime, obviously. And like I said, we kind of have notorious for two famous serial killers who are he was a cannibal too. He did eat. Yeah.
It just keeps
Lord.
getting better and better, doesn't it?
We're at that mountain. We're at that mountaintop, guys.
You have stuff to say, you see, and you're like,
right. I mean, it's interesting because, like, again, like I said, I'm a true crime fanatic. I love. I mean, I don't want to say like I love serial killers, but I've read lots of books on
stories,
the stories, and
psychology of it.
The psychology of it. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting, his story. And but yeah, my husband's family had a very large farm in Wisconsin, and it butted up against where Ed Gein was living. And yeah, they called him Eddie, and he would babysit. And
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie. Like, when we were talking about this with other family members, like, oh, did you know Eddie? Oh yeah, Eddie. He's a little weird. Yeah.
Wow, that is so crazy. You need to now, Sarah, you can talk about those things and you can get more ready for next show. Well, thank you for sharing. I feel like this is like one of those AAA meetings. Thank you for sharing, Sarah.
Right.
I have a problem.
Yeah, we got it. Ghost problem. Just kidding. Okay, so this is my pick that I wanna visit. It calls Heritage Square Museum. It's a living history and open air museum located besides the Arroyo Seco Parkway in Montecito Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, in the southern Arroyo Seco area. I'm reading this because I wouldn't have remember any of this. The Living History Museum shows the story development in Southern California through the history. So this it focuses on the years of 1850 to the 1950s, and there's like I think 4 or 5 houses around this place, and also there's like a little church. I really want to visit here, but this 2 houses, it's there, and these 2 right here, and I will tell you later how I found about this place. So these houses are extremely haunted. Some crazy stuff that the people who they go there to visit and they work there, they all had experienced stuff. These houses were not there before. They moved those houses there. They were used to be more kind of like in the LA, downtown LA area kind of thing, but they moved those homes there to preserve those houses. So they were moved. So a lot of the paranormal like investigators and stuff like that, they were saying that the people who lived there, they were really mad that they were relocated. They hated that they did that to them. Some they were okay with that, but this house right here, the one on the left, it was owned by a woman, and her husband was a drunk, and he used to kind of like beat her and steal from her, and till finally she kind of got tired and kicked him out, and she was so mad that he stole her jewelry, and she finally kind of like beat him and kicked him out and divorced him. So he moved to this other house. I don't know if he moved to this house or what, but this house, the Circle House, if you can see, they're like different type of homes. They have the what do you call it? The structure. they're different. And this circle one is the one that is the most haunted out of all those four. And it's very negative. It's that crazy man, and he hates women, especially the women who go there. They feel like headaches, they feel attacked, they feel everything. And somebody I think was killed in this house. And so this one is the one that it has the most activity, and a lot of people don't like to go there. Even the workers don't like to go in there, but they do go there because that's kind of like where they're changed. Because when you go there, they are dressed in that time period. So a lot of them, they don't like going in there. But this is a place that I would love to visit, and it's not so far from here. So hopefully, and they do tours in around this time too. But you can go there during the day and check out the inside of the homes. You can go in there for free to look up from the outside, but if you want to go inside the house, you have to purchase like a ticket to go in there. So yeah, this is my pick.
I don't think I've ever seen a house that was round like that.
No, but I guess they try to see like if it will work, but this is, I know, I don't think I ever seen one either, but I just like how you have the type of different homes in that period. I guess depends on the budget, maybe. I don't know. but yeah, that was the picks of the places that we. Oh no, wait. Let me see. There's.
Oh yeah.
This is.
I chose
Joe. So Jojo, tell us.
So this is the Ohio State Reformatory. I thought it was pretty cool looking, like the architecture.
I love the way the outside. Yes,
right?
I love it.
Yeah, it's got a. I was doing a little research on it, and it's like Gothic. It's Victorian Gothic / Romanesque is what they call it. So I would love to just go for like photography purposes, just to kind of take pictures and explore it, because it looks really nice. I didn't grab. I mean, the pictures on the right look a little more scary, but there are areas of it that actually look more like almost like cathedral, like like the high ceilings, and it's like it's got a creepy vibe, but it's also got like a peaceful looking vibe too, where it's like kind of like cemeteries do, so it'd be interesting to just go, but it is known obviously to be haunted. And there's a lot of different stories that I've kind of just read up on, but quickly, like one of the workers and his wife was kidnapped back in the day. So I mean, this thing was built like in the early 1900s. So we're talking like a long time ago. But two of the inmates got away and kidnapped them and killed. They brutally murdered these two workers. And so there's ghosts because of that. But then also the warden's wife accidentally shot herself. So she was like cleaning or something, and the gun just like fell and it just shot, and it it got her. So that's like a wild, crazy incident that happened there. But then also he ended up dying. The husband, who was the warden, ended up dying like a couple of years later from a heart attack on the grounds too. So it was just like a lot of weird deaths, I guess. And then I'm not sure how true the other one I read was, because like I don't know, the website didn't look super official, but I'm not sure. That like there was a fire that also killed a lot of the inmates. They were burned alive, which was crazy. So there's a lot of weird / sad stories coming out of this place. But also what really kind of spiked or piqued my interest with this was that the Shawshank Redemption was filmed there.
Oh,
so I was like, why does this place look familiar?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
The hallway.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
so that's like the cherry on top.
You see, it looks like a house from the outside, like like one of those you will see like in the UK, like those kind of like
it looks like a mansion.
Mansion, yes, it looks beautiful.
Mhm.
And then the inside is all
Where's
rusty.
Bruce Wayne?
I know, right?
And
Just
yeah,
need
it
a
does look
Batmobile
good.
parked right in front.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
it's
Straight
beautiful.
stunning.
I would like to go just to visit too.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
thank
cool.
you. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
with us. I like this. I gotta go on my list that I want to go to places. Okay, so this one's Steve.
Oh yeah. So this is the Hotel Coronado. It's in San Diego. Not too far, like just to drive up. It basically in 1892, that woman up there, she was 24 years old. Her name was Kate Morgan. She checked into the luxurious hotel, waterfront resort alone, and then she ended her life there. She committed suicide, and a lot of guests have experienced like strange breezes along the grounds, flickering lights. They've seen like phantom footsteps, believed in like to be evident that it was her, like walking around the premise and stuff like that. So it looks like her soul has been captured due to the fact that she committed suicide. And even in California, I mean, there's many places that are haunted, but like I feel like when you're in California, um, or you're in your state that you're in, you want to check those places first before venturing out
Yeah,
anywhere else.
that's true. Yeah. This is one place that I really want to go to.
Yeah, yeah, I've been wanting to. I always tell my friend when we're like when we're going to San Diego Comic Con, we're like we should splurge and just freaking
Stay at
Stay
this
check this
hotel.
there.
shit. Yeah,
Dude,
check
that'd be
into this
cool.
thing and get scared shitless.
Yeah, I know this story too. Like I heard of it, and like I remember like hearing that supposedly like she was pregnant when she committed suicide. That she had gotten pregnant by, I don't remember if it was like her sister's husband or something like that.
Oh,
That it was a baby
snap.
that it couldn't be born, and she was like, or she was meeting there like waiting. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like waiting for like she was like the mistress and she was waiting for him, or like and left her there that she was not gonna come back. He was not gonna come back or whatever, and that's why she committed suicide. But yeah, I have like watched a lot of the like the story of her and stuff like that. So and it's a beautiful hotel. It's like right by the ocean and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to do around there. It's huge. So
Yeah.
I want to go there too, Steve. When I saw that you picked those, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I
It's
heard of it.
definitely-
I never knew it was haunted though. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yes. And I think there's another thing too. There was another one, not only her, but there's like something else, but I can't remember what. I need to watch it again. I need to watch again. This is like something that I watched like a few years ago. But yeah, nice. So add it to your list, guys.
Well, I'm planning to go to San Diego next year, so
there
like,
you go. Let's all
for,
go.
for San Diego Comic Con.
Chip
So
in for a giant room.
dang.
yeah, like how far
Let's
is it
all
from the
stay
con?
there. It's not
I have to
far,
look
right?
at it.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up because Coronado could be a ways.
Might be 30
San
minutes.
San Diego is
Oh,
easy where
yeah.
you can take the train, like the train.
Yeah, I
Or
think
the
it might
trolley.
be 30 minutes. Let me see. Because where's the Comic Con? Is it in kind of like downtown, or
Yeah.
where?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
In
in
the,
downtown San Diego.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me see.
It's
Because
probably maybe like 25 minutes. I mean,
Okay.
and if you took their trolley, I'm
Yeah.
sure you would be able to get there.
gotcha.
Let's see.
But yeah, just to be able to go in one of those places and kind of feel like see if you feel anything or see if you encounter anything. Those are like, I mean, you're kind of curious in the sense that you want to, but then when it happens, you're like,
that far.
I will never go to this place again.
Yeah, it's like around. It's like right around Mission Bay. Like it's around there. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's not far at all.
Okay, so it's within the area.
Yeah, it's right in the area.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, there
It's
you
like
go,
right
guys.
there. It's
San
like
Diego
in the
Comic Con and ghost hunting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
like you see how it's like
Making
you
a
know how,
double trip, right?
Yeah, buddy.
yeah, and you can go. Aaron, if you go, then you go to Old Town San Diego,
Yep.
and there's the waiting the waiting
hotel?
house. The
Yeah.
hotel, yeah. No, not the hotel. The house, the
House?
waiting house. Yeah, that one's pretty haunted too. I'll add it for my pick next time, so you'll know which one I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah. Well, I have a cousin that
Okay.
lives in San Diego.
Okay, so we're going to the movies, shows, picks, and I added this one because me and my son was just started watching this one. It premiered today, Goosebumps, and it's pretty creepy. You know, definitely, I feel it, I didn't check what was this, but I feel like it's a PG-13, PG something because it's kind of creepy. But I just wanted to add this if you haven't watch it. It's different. It's not a movie, it's a show, and it has several episodes, and it's already there like 5 episodes or so there. But I guess it's gonna it said it was gonna release weekly, so I'm not sure, but there's a bunch of episodes there already.
Is it like the original show from back in the day?
It's kind of like that. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Yeah, it's good. I like it so far. We watched 2 episodes and I liked it. Like the first episode, like it explained, like I don't want to give too much away, but like some of the characters that you might know. I kind of don't remember the other ones, but my son's like, oh, I know that one. So yeah, but it's creepy. I like it.
I'm glad that they went and did this because I know for years I was like, man, it'd be cool if they actually like rebooted this and in a like more current way, you know?
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen it, but I'm
the
excited
Polaroid.
to.
The Polaroid, remember? Like
Yeah.
that's so
Shake Cheese and Die.
Yeah, like that one, and then one with the mask. Those are the ones that they showed so that we watched so far.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So American Psycho. Who was this one?
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah. So the comic had just dropped this past Wednesday, and so like I haven't gotten my copies yet, but I just absolutely love this movie. So if you haven't seen it before, I highly recommend it because it's the comics are a sequel to the first movie.
Oh,
so they completely disregard they disregard the second movie, so it continues off of the Patrick Bateman story.
What sweet. I did see Pretty Nerdy Adriana. Where she works, the publisher. I think her husband. It's the right
Sumerian.
Yeah, that's the. I was trying to look for the thing. I know she works for.
Yeah, this is a Sumerian comic.
Yeah. I was trying to look for the thing. I know I saw that they posted and stuff like that. So yeah.
And then I absolutely love the 1 in 10 incentive ratio that they have for it. It's the business card.
I don't have that. That's a good one.
With blood splatter. Cool. And then for issue
that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. And then for issue 2, it's Paul Allen's business card. And then and I think it's just like an open order cover. And then issue 3 is it's another business card that's one of the vice presidents or whatever.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Not want it.
Was that was out this
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you can probably hopefully
I gotta hop on that.
Right? Yes. Now I want this. I need to look for
Here's a little hint for the 8 people watching. Check out Sumerian's website. So don't pay eBay prices.
Yes. Okay, Jojo, look at their website then. Yeah. Well, thank you for your pick. Okay, so this one, 20 Days Later.
This one's mine.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, 20 Days Later, I've always loved this movie. It's a movie that I could always go back to, especially now with like everybody being all about like The Last of Us and The Walking Dead still being relevant. It's pretty much, to me, this is what got me into a lot of the zombie stuff or just virus stuff. And to be honest, when COVID hit, the first thing that entered my mind was, this is 28 Days Later.
Oh shit!
I'm like, it has everything going on. Like everybody quarantined themselves and everything. It's just obviously it's a little different because Cillian Murphy wakes up in the hospital, and from there on, it's just he doesn't know what's going on. But it kind of gave me that vibe, and I'm like, you know what? When COVID happened, I think within like a day or two later, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie again. And right now, it's hitting close to me because now that they're talking about the original cast actually agreeing to do another one of this one, it's like, all right, like
years later.
So 28 months later.
To me, it's because there's obviously a sequel to this one, and now it's just like it leaves you. Just I won't talk about it more because it's coming up. So
Yeah.
this is my pick.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. That's something that it's on my list. I will watch it this for sure. And I need to watch
Lucy,
it.
you
I
got
haven't.
it.
Also, one
I
more thing to
know.
add to it: the soundtrack is just amazing to this. It's just the scenes and the music go hand in hand with everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely
when I
watching
was
this.
writing a lot of music, the music they use to like as soon as something scary is happening, like the I guess the whining sounds or whatever, right?
Mhm.
I use that as inspiration to write like an intro to a song. And
Mm.
then people are always like, they're like, why does that sound familiar and stuff like that? And I was trying to copy the tones from 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's cool, Aaron. Okay, definitely need to watch this. Thank you, Ruben. Okay, so this one is
Did
JoJo.
this just come out, JoJo?
Yes.
This came out.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So this one I actually just saw last night, and I'm still a little freaked out by it because
Oh,
I
wow.
went. It was the same situation as Terrifier when I actually went alone, and it was
Oh,
like
geez,
nobody
you're
in the
crazy.
theater again.
You're
So
by
I'm like,
yourself.
how did I end up in this predicament again? But
Oh my God,
it
JoJo.
happens, I guess. Anyways, so this movie is probably the best horror I've seen all year, and
Mm.
it's an Argentinian film, so it's in Spanish, and it's a possession film, and it just
Oh.
follows these two brothers who are trying to they're trying to escape. They live in a little rural town, and there's just some like they find out somebody's possessed, and the demon is like hopping from one person to the next, and it's like they know everybody that it's like possessing, so they know that they're gonna like be next at some point, so they try to like leaving town and stuff.
Oh,
Not gonna go
Oh.
too into spoilers or anything, but it is so realistic. The way that the practical effects were done in this like had me gagging. It was so gross.
Oh my
And
oh
God.
wow.
yeah.
So
Just awesome story, awesome effects, just creepy. Some surprises and turns that you wouldn't think it would take, and took a lot of risks for sure too. So I would totally recommend this if you guys like that genre, or even if you don't like the genre, the effects themselves are just so cool. Because with possession movies, it's hard to make it not look fake sometimes. Like that's why people love The Exorcist so much, because the effects were so great in that, and it felt realistic and gross. That this has that for sure. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer was scary when I'm watching this.
oh man, yeah. And I think it was you could see it there on the poster. It's like I think they played it in the Toronto Film Fest.
Yeah, I could see
Something
that
like
they
that.
went
it
to
won
the
some
festivals.
stuff,
Yeah.
but at TIFF, there you go.
Watch
TIFF.
it.
So it's a movie you would see in theaters. You would recommend seeing in theaters?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. It'll be effective either way. But I mean, I would just to support it because it's a smaller film.
Yeah.
Yeah, independent movie, foreign movies usually are like when they're scary, they're the best. They're the best. They have the best stories. They have the best stories. It's crazy. I mean, nothing like against the American ones, but I just feel the Americans are always the same thing right now.
Yeah,
Or remakes. The
I
stories are. It's like unless they're independent films, sometimes they're like better than the big budget movies that are everywhere, and it's like like The Nun. It's like that shit sucks. But yeah.
I was trying to see
this is so good.
And the only time that the tickets were on sale were at like 10 p.m. showing.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, so you're gonna have me be there at 10 p.m. Leave like at probably 1. Scared shitless. Drive back home.
Go into a dark parking lot.
Oh yeah, right.
I was like, again, how did this happen again?
That's where I talked myself out of it. I was like, I'm gonna be the only person in there. And
no, then don't do it.
And I go in really strong-minded too, like the same. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
right.
I'm good. I'm good. I've watched too many horror movies. I'm desensitized. But every single time when I get back, it's when I get back to my place or when I'm in the car. That's when it hits
When
me.
you think, you're thinking the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's crazy.
It's on
You're crazy
edge.
for going by yourself. Well, thank you,
I really am.
Okay, the girl with all the gifts, Sarah.
Yeah, so this is another zombie movie. I watched it I don't know, a couple of years ago, but I love this movie. So this came out back in 2016, and it's kind of got the Last of Us kind of vibes. You're dealing with fungus, and basically this fungus has turned people into, they call them hungries, but they're basically just zombies. But the weird thing is that there's children that haven't been affected by it. They're like half zombies, half humans, so they can talk, they can speak, but they have kind of the hunger for human flesh. And like, there's a scene where they have all these little kids in it's a military facility, and they're all wearing these like plastic masks, and this one girl in particular, she can kind of like hold herself. She can when she gets tempted, she doesn't bite. But there's a scene where this little boy, they take off his mask, and they first start sniffing, and then they start like chattering their teeth. And I was just so creepy. It's so creepy, but it's a great movie. Again, this came out in 2016. But yeah, just it's got Last of Us vibes. The ending's pretty interesting. But yeah, I just love that, you have I love little cute zombies. I don't know what it is. I
don't like anything kids. Kind of, I'm like, no. Maybe because I have my kids, I'm like, I can't. But I don't know. Check it out, and if I can, do you know where is this available at? Like for rent or something? It's Amazon, probably, right?
I saw Amazon Video. I want to say Tubi might be one of them.
Oh yeah, Tubi.
Yeah.
They always have stuff. Okay, well, we'll check it out. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Okay, 20 weeks later now, we got Steve.
Yeah,
See, when he sent me, he was like 24 days. I was like trying to look for 24. I'm like, what's 24 days? Oh,
yeah. Well, Ruben was. I think this was Ruben's first pick, but I was like, oh, we'll tag team on this movie because that was one of the two movies I
collusion.
Watched.
That's collusion.
Yeah, right. I watched Cujo prior, and I was just scrambling because I was just at work, so I'm like, I gotta watch something. Yeah. So that came up on my Hulu. This is actually the continuation of 28 Days Later. They kind of get into more storyline. The opening gets you sucked in right away because again, these zombies are not slow. They're not asking for brains. They're running at you. They're virus infested. Their blood hits you, hits your skin. You're tainted immediately. And just the opening scene, this kid comes in. They say this kid from their house. It's just quiet. They're keeping it quiet. The zombies just invade the premise, just taking everybody by storm. And this guy just runs off, gets in a boat. As he's in the boat, he's kind of staring off to his wife, who you later find out has a specific blood type that could possibly be a cure. Only you don't find that out till later. It's a real, it's kind of like a real moment, right? I mean, if this were to ever happen, it's probably the government's best bet is to no matter kill everybody, no matter what the cost, just to kind of save everybody who is on that other side of where they're kind of protecting.
That's crazy. I need to watch it. I still haven't watched these movies. I need to watch them. I will watch them.
Yeah, they're crazy. I mean, it's good. This was a good way to come back to. Nice.
But you gotta make sure your kids are in the room with you while you're watching.
I'm like, oh yeah, you look at them and you're like, wait until you get to this part.
No.
And they're in bed with you, dude.
Right.
No.
The good thing about these movies too, it's since they're older films, you see some of the actors and you're like, wait a minute, is that so and so? Because it actually has Henry Renner. Yeah, it has
Yeah.
Hawkeye. He's actually in this movie.
Oh wow.
And
I
but you
forgot
don't
about
know
that.
him back then. And then also if you watch like Once Upon a Time,
Yeah.
the one of the main actors in this movie, I keep forgetting his name, but he plays Rumpelstiltskin. He's one of the
yeah.
main characters. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you got
Ooh, so scary.
Edoras.
Alba?
Edoras, what's his last name?
Yeah,
Wait.
Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edoras
Elba.
Elba's in it.
hmm
He's in
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
a
need
good
to watch
movie.
him. Oh,
It's
okay.
really good. I would check it out.
I will add it for sure. I will have to watch. I think I just seen it somewhere that it's available. I can't remember what. I think it was Hulu,
Hulu,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just
Hulu.
said Hulu. Duh. Yeah, Hulu. Okay. Okay, I will
You
watch
watch both of them, Lucy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will.
Back to back.
You're
Yeah,
never
Yeah,
going to leave your
yeah.
house. You're never
Oh,
going to want to
God.
leave your house.
yeah. If you hear,
Yeah, I already don't leave my house. I'm gonna be more.
you start hearing screaming and everything like that, you want to lock yourself in.
Well, thank you guys. Okay, well, we're on my pick, and this one is all kind of like I want to say all in one type of thing because Jack Osborne has this shows like the Osborne Night of Terror, and Jack and Kelly. It's just like one episode thing, but it's like an hour and a half, kind of like a movie basically, like an hour and a half show. And the Osborne's the Night of Terror, that one, it's where I saw that those houses, the Heritage Museum one. Kelly and Jack are the ones in the houses, going through the houses, and Sharon and Aussie, they're like watching through the monitors from their home, and it's kind of like seeing their reaction is funny and stuff like that. But Kelly has, dude, there, like you can see that she has some kind of power, like she has some kind of medium power. It's crazy that she doesn't even know until like somebody else, it's kind of like telling her like, you need to watch out, girl, because she's saying some things that later on they're like telling her like, you know, that she needs to be careful basically. And Jack Osborne haunted homecoming, that one's a little bit more, a few episodes, and that he goes back to the house where he grew up. And that one I think it has like and he's going through different places in where he grew up in England. And then the new one is the Jack Osborne Night of Terror. That's the newest one that he has his mom. I think right now it's like they're releasing. There's 2 episodes out right now. The one is with his mom, and the other one's with what's it, McCarthy, Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, with her, and so it's like he has different ones, and he has more. I just added a little bit, but if you go on HBO Max and you type Jack Osborne, he has like UFOs. He has about Bigfoot that he goes with Jason Mewes to the what is it called, the
Pacific
the
Northwest.
forest. It's like Ohio or somewhere. Like he goes to looking for Bigfoot and stuff like that. So he has a bunch of different like paranormal stuff and the other like kind of weird ones. But they're really good. The homecoming one, the first episode, his home, pretty scary. The one with Kelly, it's at the Queen Mary. Actually, they're at the Queen Mary. Freaking creepy. And especially the one that they go to those houses, the Heritage Museum, they have more activity there, and they see some crazy shit. I was like, oh my god, it was pretty scary. But I recommend watching those if you for these. Like I said, some of them they're like an hour or so. But yeah, he has to be cloned. He's everywhere, dude. I know.
I was just typing in the chat. Don't tell everyone. Like,
but yeah, this is my recommendation for you guys to watch. Check it out. Oh, and he just released his new podcast. I want to watch it. It's on YouTube, and his first guest is Bob Saget's wife. That he passed away 2 years ago, a year ago already.
Yeah.
So that's the first episode. It's on YouTube. And I comment, like, I'm like, I send it to you guys. I'm like, it's kind of like our show. Like, they go and they are, talking about ghost stories and other stuff. It calls Ghosts and Grits, or Grits and Ghosts. But yeah, go check it out. I'm really enjoying it. Watching his shows.
So that first link you sent me of on the podcast where Jack Osborne showed up, like I had never heard of that other that pop.
The Fighter and the Kid. Yeah,
the Fighter and the Kid. And so like I had seen the comedian before, but I wasn't familiar with the fighter.
Brian.
Yeah, and I was like kind of like I was like, man, Jack Osborne, he looks like super different now. Like what's up with that? Like, and then it's not until like what the first 15 minutes until he's like actually on the podcast. I was like, that's Jack Osborne. I was like,
yes,
I was like, who's this other guy? Like,
no, it is Brandon Schaub. He used to be a UFC fighter. From that same podcast, the episode before them, they have a medium. Watch that one. JoJo watched it and she said it was really good. She liked it. I watch it. It's with the medium and he works sometimes with the FBI. He talks about
that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, he talks about a pretty well known the girl that went missing and she went missing and then they found that the fiance or boyfriend killed her. It was everywhere a year ago. So
people that like true crime would, I think, really enjoy that because it's like a different.
Yeah, Sarah, you will listen to that. Yeah, you will like that.
I heard true crime. My true crime ears perked up. So
well, that one I sent it. I sent the group chat the link. If not, I'll send it again if you want. But that guy, the medium guy, that he works, with the FBI to kind of help them a little bit to solve murders and stuff like that. I recommend it. But yeah, they had that one, and then they have Jack because he has this new show on HBO, and then it's Discovery, but HBO, and the one on YouTube, the new podcast too. So I recommend that one.
I gotta check that out.
Yes, these shows are so good, JoJo. They're so good.
So I have to ask the panel: Does it surprise anyone that the daughter of Ozzy Osbourne has like medium powers or whatever?
This is a show. Sorry, this is the Ghost and Grits.
Okay,
Ghost and Grits.
I don't think. I mean, you could totally tell.
No, they were saying, even them, they were saying like they're like that explains a lot of her behavior when she was little. Like they were saying that it explains a lot. Like now they understand why she was the way she was when she was little. But
again, like when you're the child of
the Ozzy,
Ozzy and Cher, like I mean, like I'm sure that we all watched that reality show at one point in time.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I used to love it. Yeah.
So I mean, like, does it really surprise anyone?
I guess not really. Yeah, no. There's something they must have brought home, and it just kind of, I don't know.
What?
I don't remember where
all those animals that like he bit off the heads of.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was listening to that. That he was saying that she did it. Where was it? I think it was Sharon who was talking about that. Jack? I think he said it on the podcast that he was saying that he was kind of not doing good, and then he went into something and he did that with the bad, so he can kind of get more popular. That helped.
Oh yeah. So what was it? Okay, so Jack Osbourne, he was in rehab by like what age 17 or something like that.
Yeah, really young.
Well, yeah, that he talked about that on the podcast, and then during like a record meeting or whatever, like in the 80s, like Ozzy was supposed to like release like birds out of his like jacket or whatever for and then he ended up like biting the head off of one of the doves or whatever instead, like during like one of those meetings or whatever. But I mean, like, stories like that,
all
like
for show. I feel like it's all for show, though.
Right. Well, I mean, those kinds of stories like live on, like as like, oh, this is the most metal thing that anything's ever happened or whatever. So
yeah. But I mean, now Jack, he said he's doing good. If you want to watch his interview, it's with the fighter and the kid. And then it was the episode. I think it was last week's show, so you'll see on their page on YouTube the interview. It was pretty good. I liked it. And then the one with the medium too. But I think that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us. I said 1 hour. We went way over an hour. Sorry. You guys talk too much. Just kidding. It was me.
We're just all trying to scare the hell out of each other.
I know, huh?
Right.
Yeah,
Have a good night.
to sleep. Tell them to stay awake with the lights on and everything.
Yeah,
no, I got work in 4 hours. So. I'm not sleeping at all.
Right? Oh yeah, you have to go to work, right?
Yeah, and then my kids are waiting for me right now too. So there's no way I'm asleep.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll be back next week, guys. Follow everybody on Instagram, and we'll be back next Friday with more. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you, and we'll see you till next time. Oh shoot, hold on, let me get this.
Happy Friday the 13th.